Okay, so some of you probably recognize this as the XCOM Enemy Unknown pause screen. And so, being at this is the time when summer's coming up and a lot of people are getting out of school because I'm recording this in near at the end of May, I figured I'd do some reviews and give some people some options to enjoy all that free time they have off in this summer. So, I'm VCF13. I play a lot of video games, and so in this case, I ended up deciding to do a mod of XCOM Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within. And so this, I'm pretty avid XCOM player, as some people would say. I'm a definite fan. I was a little late coming to the party for Enemy Unknown. I didn't really pay much attention to it, and then ended up picking it up on a Steam sale, and admittedly I went a little crazy. Because even before I downloaded this mod to try, after doing some research on the mod, I was at 260 hours of playing Enemy Unknown, which does include Enemy Within, which I pre-ordered, and when I got Enemy Within, I think it was at 160. So, granted, all this has been over a year and a half or so, but so I'm a pretty seasoned Enemy Unknown player. Enemy Unknown got me into XCOM, and then so I went back and started playing some of the original XCOM games, which are brutal to begin with. And when I started playing those, I had been playing Enemy Unknown on classic Iron Man, and so I was thinking I was pretty good at the games at that point, but then I like the newer graphics and the slightly better interface than the nuclear submarine interface of the original XCOM. And so I ended up getting turned on to this mod by a reviewer who was talking about this mod, and he was like, "Oh, I'm playing XCOM Enemy Unknown for like the 6th time, and I'm asking myself why I'm playing it. But I am playing it with this mod, and it changes things." And so I read his review of it, and so I got interested. And then so I went and looked up some information about the mod. And of course, right there on the place where they have the mod, where the mod's available, there's a link to an article from PC Gamer, I believe, about how it was rated in their list of 15 most brutal mods for PC games, and it was like number 7. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty brutal. It pretty much takes Enemy Unknown or Within. There's a version for Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within, so you can play if you have the expansion or not. You can still play it, which I find kind of cool. And it takes both of them and makes them pretty brutal. I'm at just under 10 hours of playing with this mod, and you do have to start a new campaign because the way it's in the tech tree is entirely different. The weapons, the ranks, mission structure, I mean, it pretty much redoes the whole game and turns Enemy Unknown, whether it be within or not, into pretty much a lot like the original. My impressions of the original XCOM, pretty hard. Oddly enough, all your rookies start out in red armor, so they're pretty much all red shirts, and they're not even called rookies anymore. They're called like specialists, or they actually have real ranks. So like you become lieutenant, and there's corporal, lance corporal, and all sorts of ranks now. It's pretty brutal, as I've said, and in fact, this is the second campaign I've started. The first campaign, I got utterly destroyed. And I was thinking I'd wait till I was further in when I might actually be able to get Mech Trooper or some Gene mods or something to show off some people. But like I said, the tech tree's kind of changed around, and it's pretty hard to get to that point now. You have to get pretty far in. And what you'll notice is, I mean, it looks to most people to look like, if they're familiar with Enemy Within, it looks like I've got I've got some guys in regular armor, and I've got some Gene mod troopers, and they're pretty much all using Exalt weapons. That's not the case. Like I said, it redoes all the weapons and armors, and so basically every troop, when you start the game with your red shirts, you've got the base armor is the tactical vest, which is the Gene mod's soldier armor. So that's what they look like, and it's red because they're rookies, and it does not offer much protection, and your guys are weak to begin with. And then you can switch over once you get playing. You can switch over to, they call it tactical armor, and it's available at the start also, along with, you know, you've got like med kits are available to start, and some of the other stuff that you get when that you can build after you actually finish your first mission, or some of the stuff that's available within the first couple techs by the normal tech tree. And they're all pretty, and so it looks, you look at it and without knowing too much, it looks like someone's playing really far in the game. This is actually like the 4th mission into the game in this campaign. Like I said, I got destroyed in the first one, and I figured this was actually my second down UFO, but the first one I've actually been able to go into, because they can now, in this mod, they can explode and never crash, so you can don't really get resources from those. And you start out with 6 troops because honestly you guys are gonna die. I've literally averaged 2 guys dying every mission. It's pretty brutal in that sense. And so, and I figured this one, having played through the first mission, down UFO mission on the previous campaign I failed on, part of me said this is a good place to try showing people off, to show people how just hard this mod could be and show a little about it. And so, yes, you and some of you who have been looking around notice some changes besides the armor and weapons. Like at the bottom of the bar, right down here, you've got a different option available for what and you can study a weapon, and so you basically give up the rest of your turn, but you get a plus 20% on your next shot, on your next turn, as long as you don't move before you shoot. And that's kind of helpful because honestly your rookies here, the red shirts, are a pretty terrible aim. I've been averaging like 30s, in the mid 30s is my aim percent chance, and in fact, you know, look at that. If I were to shoot at this guy, I'd have a 13% chance to hit him at this range. These base weapons, which are using the Exalt models, as I previously said, are not very good. The base weapons do like 3 or 4 damage without crits, and their range is absolutely terrible.
Good to go.
And then like some of the other things have been reused with different skins, like the needle grenade is called the AP grenade, and if you click on it, see it says does 4 damage to units not in cover. It works like the needle grenade, how units in where like this side I'm not going to do anything to him, but if I do this side I can hit him. And let's see if that grade's going to be better than, yeah, 24% chance if I'm going to shoot him. So we'll throw the grenade, see if we can kill him. This grenade might not even kill him, to be honest.
Batter up.
Yeah, see that actually did kill him, but the units have a damage resistance value, and so you might see like 3 damage and then a shield below it says 2, and so you did 5 damage total, but only 3 of it actually hurt him, and 2 is protected by his armor or by cover. And so yeah, you can take, even grenades and other things can be reduced in damage. And honestly, there's a lot more stats involved in this one. Like there's a movement stat, so not every guy will move the same distance, and there's some other hidden stats like the grenade ones. Like I have had people who can't throw a grenade, who can barely throw grenades far enough to even get out of their blast radius, and you know, that guy just chucked a grenade a pretty good distance, so he's actually a pretty good one. But the other thing you can see pretty right off the bat, besides you start out with 6 guys in your first mission and it's kind of rough, is on that first mission, you're probably gonna fight 9 enemies, whereas most people they go into, and I am playing this on normal, which is recommended for this mod. And you know, you play normal XCOM. You know, you expect 4 sectoids, and you go in with 4 guys, and you try to go and kill with each of them, because then you can get
Orders confirmed.
all of
Moving
them
out.
will get a class. In this one, you go in with 6 guys, and you're probably going to fight in that first mission a minimum of 6 sectoids plus 3 drones. And this campaign I had 9 guys to start out with. I had 3 groups of 2 sectoids and a drone. The one before that, I had 2 groups of 2 sectoids and a drone, a group of 3 sectoids, and then a group of 3 drones. So I fought 12 on the first mission, on the first campaign. That was kind of bizarre because there was twice as many guys as I had, and you'll, especially later on in the campaign, as the enemies get better, you'll encounter that more and more, where they'll outnumber you by quite a bit. And so that also brings up the other point, is you will run into things where you've got things that you normally wouldn't see till later on, like drones will show up very early on. So it does change the game pretty dramatically. I mean, you can see here, in this first UFO mission, I've already encountered 6 sectoids, which you might expect a few, 10 hours, at least 10 hours into the game, and the unknown. But here, my first actual UFO I'm invading, I've got that many. So that's a little crazy. And then the other thing is a lot of values are changed. Like when I get this meld here, I got 4 meld. You think you'd get 10, but meld value, what you can do is meld, and how much other things take is all changed. I mean, a lot of things are shaken up by this mod. Research values are changed. You try to make a scope, which everyone knows scope, plus 10 aim. It still gives you plus 10 aim, and it's still pretty cheap to make cash-wise. And I think it takes like 2 alloys now. But it takes 7 days to make the scope now instead of instantly. So when you go and do that, you're like, you think a little bit before you do things, because sometimes it might be a while before you get to use some items. Because I mean, scope. Everyone thinks of scopes. They're small, they're quick. People shoot pretty easy.
Enemy in sight.
And then here's what I was looking for when I started recording. I mean, there's your outsider. Everyone knows outsiders. On easy, they're really easy to kill because they got 3, or on normal, I guess, normal, yeah. They've got 3 health and you can go and kill them real quick. But on this one, they've got 10 health. And they regenerate health. And to top it off, they're actually really deadly. They're like thin men, where they can shoot really well. And so I was trying to find him when I started recording, but I was kind of hoping I hadn't run into quite so many of these sectoids before I found him. He is a bigger target though than a sectoids, and not behind full cover, so I do 36 chance to hit him. And see, she's got some grenade range too. She can really huck this grenade. And we can take out that sectoid hopefully.
Suck on this!
Nope, you see that I only did 1 damage with that grenade, even though it can do up to 4. And so, that's something you think of when it comes to XCOM. You're like, oh, damage value. It should do this much damage, it should be quick.
Getting it done.
There's one of those things. 39. Kill him. And nope, see 39.
Missed the target.
Because they can't shoot worth crap. And so we'll try chucking a grenade in on him through this door.
Grenade out.
Yeah, so that one did full damage. And that one worked pretty well, but
I'm on it, Commander.
with this mod installed, nothing's quite guaranteed. You can go chuck this normal frag grenade, HE, high explosive grenade. Will see what kind of damage we can do here.
Eat this!
And see, there's those shields I was telling you about. So I did 2 damage, and then 1 damage that was prevented. So